Hello, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Viggy, and I make live videos, mostly of Yiddish. But before I start the hunting video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And you can be a channel member. You can hit the join button. So geht der riesige Weg. Thank you. It's about a sponsor for the day. In dem Timmer in sound alive, to be quite honest. Shimi Lebovich. We gotta say hello to Shimi. Thank you to Shimi Lebovich for the hunting sponsorship. Sally, hello and welcome. Yossi, hello and welcome. Yankee, hello and welcome. Wir sind gewesen in Shabbos, in der Weekend. Tracht efter vergeben my review days, do. The Tishra video. Shimmy for the Winnie. So wie ein Donnerstag, hè? So wie ein Donnerstag Nacht. Ich will reviewen die Tishra von Sruli Green. Farm fangt on the dump situation. Ich will I'm 7:15. Und das ist 11 Minuten lang. Ich habe gemeint, ein Mix. Ich habe nicht gehabt, wo das ist. Ich habe es ungezint für a second. Ich habe sehr stark lieb gehabt, the beginning. Literally like 5 seconds. I figured I'll make a review. 22 hours ago geworden gepostet. So 7,800 views. Phew. Let's get into it. Du weißt, wenn man watcht a character in a movie, for the letzte 10 movies is gewähnt der Film, jetzt spielt the nice guy. It is usually der Wilder, und du ist mehr der ruhige Singer. Das ist ein bisschen interessant. Thank you, Yossi. Sincerely, es ist nicht mich, really. Klinkt ein bisschen jazzy. Wusste gewähnt die Idee, finde ich, liken dort am Mike. Oh, that was nice. Is it Mandy? Look at that. Dum dum.
Hashem Eloi kaini
the simplicity was it do. Wer singt Harmony? Sally is braver. Ich meine, wir gedacht liegen als ein Level, ich weiß nicht, Levelier Mic, aber der dünne Mic auf ein Boom, ein bisschen höher von der Kopf, also. Etwas am Mic, wo gemacht sein. Berach mir mit Flugzeug, es te viel sein. Kijk hoe Mandy's face, wenn geht da vorher weg, finde Zampunem singt sag mehr wie Samol. Kijk op Zampunem. Ich fühle wie, das was singt jetzt, singt doch nicht. Hört man nicht. Wir gerade nur mal am Mic, I think we would have appreciated the mic getting closer to his mouth. Weißt man so Sachen hinter. Live unscripted. Hello and welcome. Wie checkst du an? Whoa. We got a new person. We got a new guy. Live unscripted. Thank you. Thank you, Live. Appreciate you. Ich sehe, wie man darf das so sehen a couple of times. Sie nicht kann one time listen. Sie aufmachen. Moishi. Hello and welcome.
masim ki ein buni masim dat Khunayni va nayni ki ein Khunayni va nayni ki ein buni masim ki ein buni masim Oh yo yo yo
No, 7:15. 7:15.
yo 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 Oh yo 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 yo
By the way, Mandy of the hairstas, the next mol die test mix mitzingen. Man mix in that mol nicht singen obviously, but mitgehen. Wow, that was beautiful. Hi, Digga. Spielt er in Beëdig en komt op dezelfde plaats. Weißt du, ich kann lieber sagen Low Voice oder nicht? Es ist right there. Ich habe jetzt gesagt, nun auf der Piano, also wir kennen schon Tag in der Show sagen. All the classics. Brooklyn. Hello and welcome. Wollt nicht gehen besser, wenn wir wem versteht, der Wörter? Live, ich meine als live unscripted, sorry. Ich meine, also, wenn wir nicht ziehen wollen, sie sind Weg für Reden. You know what I mean? Reden sogar. Sie sind Weg für Singen. So it's like a little off. Darf sich also wie resetten, recalibraten.
Hashem v'chasudechu ki mayo ilam haimu Zecho yirachamechu Rachamechu Hashem V'chasudechu Ki mayu b'bilam V'vayu
By the way, ich meine, Mandy kann rausgeben mit 10, 15-minütiger Video, just wie spielt Piano. Sally, we don't give out date, times, location. Everything is CIA. I'm joking. I'm messing around. But Brooklyn, we're bad. Deze moest wel doen gewoon besser, wenn hat am mic, you know. De Weg was wat gezegd weggebeugen van de mic. Kijk op Mandy's face. In mijn kop, als ik warm en beginnen, zijn based off questions and answers. Also sehr iches, also viel iches. So sag man, der Teil kommt zurück und sagen, huh? So kick um Mandy's face. Jetzt, Digga. Ja? Interessant.
Gemach asime Teuwe in a git gebenchte Jur. Gemach asime Teuwe in a git gebenchte Jur. A git Jur. Ay, 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 a git Jur. A git Jur. A git Jur. Ay, 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 a git Jur.
David, hello and welcome. Okay, nicht schlecht gewesen. Something was mir darf aushören, definitely noch einmal. Was mir darf aushören. Reim geben mal like, weil ich lieb gerade Piano, ich lieb den Style. Ich meine, als Mandy kann rausgeben Videos, just wie ich spiele the piano. Just classic piano playing situations. Alright. That is that. His expression because the chords he's making. Exactly. Just the Weg was mit draait sich also. Okay, so echt ist mir gegangen live, Hand Nacht, was geworden gesponsert, the DAF. So we'll give my thanks für Shimon Lebovich, für sponsoring the handige live. So, yeah. Let's get into it. Ma halt aan bij DAF 7. You do this. The doors open up in heaven. Alrighty. Can we review this? No. I ga niet nemen, okay, Brooklyn? Because, obviously, ik ben 50% dort geweest. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn, aber ich kein Monster. Sei soft and smooth. You know what I mean? Okay, that's number 7. Let's do this.
Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Welcome. Not that many guests today. So I saw one hiding some. Oh, Shalom Aleichem, all in the corner. You're still a guest, no? First time? What's your name?
But Brooklyn, it's easy income. Just let me know. Shoot me an email.
Oh. Very nice. Shalom, where do you live? He didn't grow up in Muncie, that guy. He pretends like he came from Alabama. He's not okay. He's a Heimische. What's it called? Really? Chavetz Chaim Heritage Foundation. Beautiful. World Child, the whole thing. Rabbi said, check this out. I'm so impressed by this. Antwerp Shir watch location, Motzi Shabbos launch night. Check this out, the amount of people there. Look at this. This is Gival. More people there than we had in the Spanish last night, maybe. Look at all these locations that we have at Chutz La'aretz. We have Borough Park, Kensington, Williamsburg, Staten Island, B&H Photo, Bergen County, Jackson, New Jersey, Baltimore, Muncie 1, 2, and 3. Wow. Atlanta, Georgia, Los Angeles 2. We know the 2 locations. Antwerp and London. Rabbi say we know where there's other places that are not in here because we forgot about you. So send in where you are. Some of this is only Hebrew. I don't know if we should watch location and allow if everybody's together. This guy said that he went onto one of these chat groups. He came home for Ben Zman, Yeshiva Bacher. Aaron Kovner, he learned a bunch of mesechtas, over 1,000 daf, maybe 1,700 daf. I forget already how many. 18 mesechtas with us. So he got home. So he went onto that thing to see a joke or two, and he has 6,000 followers. And he sees that the guy put on the status that starts walking with us. He's jealous. Everybody, you know, the amount of followers that they have, but Lamaisi can make a difference. Shkoyach. Listen to this. Here, writing your Talmud from KJ. He's from. Shkoyach, I have one. But
KJ.
Thank you. Isaac Lichtenstein from Sanhedrin Daf Tzaddik, not missed a day, 177 days, Baruch Hashem. Again, a Satmar Chassid from Kiryas Yoel. I got inspired to take on myself not to speak during Kaddish. You understand, they will all give praise to Hashem. I felt in the middle of Kaddish that I'm not alone, and I'm part of 40,000 plus members, and they give praise to Hashem. He's not limited to place, time. Hasidus sector should be blessed. For those that, whatever, father, 5 beautiful kids. Changing my life story needs a separate email. See attached. Good morning, Rabbi Boyz from some of my children. Thanks to Rebelli with all involved in MDY. Good bench Yud. Here's the kids. Check this out. In Kiryas Yoel. This is what it looks like in Kiryas Yoel. Yeah, it's like an Americanish English. So it's without the Avuda. Nachman and you guys don't say a word here. Somebody sent this in and he wanted to know when was the last time we showed this in Shir and why we showed it in Shir. Shah, what's going on over here? That's me.
Just imagine, man schickt mal heim die Kinder von Geider, huh?
That's me on Purim. Yeah.
Pretzels.
Before I was in my chair. This was not in Israel. Yeah. This, He's very mad. He said that this Chayin, why does he have to mess up the Machshava? Because of him, everybody has to suffer.
למה אתה שוחט בשביל שזרקו? מה יש לכם? אתם דפוקים לגמרי, כהנים, אתם פשוט אנשים. מה זה? למה? וזה לא רק אני סובל בגללו, זה כל מי שלומד דף יומי סובל עכשיו בגללו. בגללו שיש לו מחשבות, תפסיק לחשוב. בעל מחשבת.
Boss Nation.
Oh,
hello and welcome.
It's real.
This I appreciated this coming from Lou Shapiro, top attorney in Lou Shap?
That's how he goes by Lou Shap.
Lou Shap. Okay, Lou Shap.
Darf actually fragen, du Doilam, how was your weekend? Wie sie gewesen der Shabbos? Hello and welcome, everybody.
Listen to this. Compliment. The chart intro on Daf Dalid, 60-minute mark. He's talking about, I think we have it here, but it's the 4 psukim, the Me'atzad, and the arrows. Many liked it a lot. It's concise and perfectly set the table for the sugya. It's night and day learning with your approach in comparison to sitting around the table with someone trying to illustrate ideas by only verbalizing them. It may only be a minute on the video, but we appreciate how much more time and effort it takes to create that 1 minute so that we can understand and follow. That's why I support MDY and urge others to as well. Yes, I'm holding out for a video introducing Zvachim, this time the Kohen Gadol doing backflips. Lou Shap, certified criminal law specialist. Floyd Rebelli, he's the one. Nachamal. When I didn't say hello to May Weatherfield. What's his name? Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, whatever. And I said hello to the guy with him, and I tried to convince him, but then I ended up convincing Lou Shap. Floyd Rebelli. Last year, Zevi Stern married Basia Shana. This is a big one for MDY. You remember that we had an almana on Zoom. She never showed her face, but she always listened. She wanted to call out Torah in her house because her husband was a Talmud Chacham, wrote a sefer. She got married. It was like an MDY shidduch, I think. He listens to the Hebrew shir, and she used to have your shir on her. Yeah, after her husband was nifter. They Baruch Hashem had a baby girl. By the way, the video you sent them on the day they got married was awesome. Much appreciated. Ephraim Silberberg, beautiful. Masechta sponsored by David Salomon, dedicated in memory of Imayri. Yeah, we gave this out, but let me show. Boisai, Rabbi Dahari from Manchester made these beautiful Yossi Daharia, beautiful luchos calendars. So we have here on the table. I gave them out before shir, but here they are. Good stuff. Yishkoyach. Everybody's in the mood of giving. David Salomon, dedicated to Navi Meir Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Chaim Tzvi Doiv. Zechron Levrach. The Masechta sponsored anonymous. The Yiddish Masechta Doidi Shlomo Yehuda Ben Shmuel Chaim Zechron Levrach. Shokav Lama Kajim Kolchayov. Anonymous. The schools for Shlomo Nachum Tzvi Ben Yenta. Sponsored by Skybrook Capital in honor of our friends and colleagues Taki and Shamshi Shlafrak for the devotion to the Torah study and the shir. Joel Gedalius. The Yiddish was my father Jack Gedalius. Anonymous. Atzlocha Baruch Nis Ubi Gashmius. Co-sponsor. Monthly. Anonymous from London. Aslach in business. Monthly sponsor TCS Israel Power by Talking Save. Aaron Kessler in honor of the marriage of my son and my daughter, and my relocated to Eden Gardens in Orlando, Florida. Anonymous from London. Aslach by Parnaso. Yuda Lashinsky in honor of my father's sixth cycle of the Daf. Your big heart and giving the community is an inspiration for all of us. Weekly sponsors: Sheldon Dana Reich, Leon Nishmas, Noam Ben Pinchas Halevi, and Noam Ben Yehuda. May the Neshamas have an aliyot. And may Shlomo Ruven Ben Hinda have a speedy refuah shlema. Amen. Anonymous for a year, full of atzlach and ruchnius and gashmius. Daily sponsors: Judith Neil Halbern, Leon Nishmas Judith's father, Avram Chaim Ben Yisrael. Shalom should have an aliyah. Chaim Rivka Malka Rubenstein, Leon Nishmas Aviva Tal, Shalom Basra Avram on her third yard side. Shalom should have an aliyah. Brian Gandlin, your Talmud from Staten Island since Megillah. Thank you Yitzchak Gloria for recruiting me. Karsa Toy.
Your grand-Talmud. Your grandson. Lori is your Talmud. He's the next.
Oh my. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. The Waldman family, Yosef Yehuda Ben Yitzchak Halevi Zichron Levracha, Jonathan and Ilana Austin. Oh, in honor of the engagement of our daughter Tamar to Yair Ashendorf.
I appreciate it. What's up for Sally?
Martin Lifshutz, dedicated in memory of Imi Moirossi, Miriam Braver Lifshutz, Miriam Bas Yehuda Shalom. Your side is today. Shalom should have an aliyah. Abe and Sherry Belsky of cheermarket.com, Rabbi Isai. We have it off from them every single day. We sit in these geschmack cheers. Mazel tov to our grandson Eli Lachorsky of Cedarhurst, engagement to Brachav Ram of Toronto. Mazel tov, Rabbi Abe, and the guys from Shpachah Zev and Moti Chesky Shea. Mazel tov, Temdi Wire Shua Ludmir on the new baby boy. Keep on daffing. Mazel tov. Anonymous Refuah Shlema Tinu Ben Sarah Mindel MDY Art monthly Refuah Shlema for Yonatan Eitam Mevash Bracha. Refuah Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther Refuah Hayela Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. Boisai, we're holding on the bottom of the Vav Amud Beis. Yesterday we were learning in the Beis Hamidrash they had a pen with a number of tmidim. And they would choose from those tmidim to bring a carbon talmud 2 a day, but they had extra. I think there was 4 extra. Shalom Aleichem, guys. They had 4 extra. So what do you do in the beginning of the year? The beginning of the year for that purpose is the first day of Nisan. You start all over again. New money in the what is it called? No, the Lishkas Hagazis. Thank you. In Lishkas Hagazis.
Thank you, Boss Nation.
So the animals in the pen, are they considered a tamid? Or are they designated as tmidim? And therefore, they would have to before them. They would have to go to the Yirachi Stove Park, Kevis Land, or not. So we saw the Rav Yudah Shmuel, and this is to explain Reb Shimon that
welcome Sally.
This Mandomar goes that the sakim u'shachton, the knife. I didn't even know about this. You know that some people have a segula that on Rosh Hashanah they buy like a knife for Rosh Hashanah. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. We had this idea that maybe we should give out a knife to all donors on $50,000 and above. We'll get a nice engraved MDY knife. Any takers? No. Givaldik. Next. What? Okay. He also used to give out bottles of wine. Yeah. Okay. So, Sakim Shachton. What? You want a knife?
I said it's not going to cut it. I was trying to do it quietly and he laughed.
Shimon.
4 lines from the bottom.
Hello, Shimon.
Do we really have? So what was the idea? I don't know.
I
guess it's all dependent on Bezdin's mind. Whatever they decide. This carbon talmud is not going to be a talmud until the last moment. They'll decide when it happens. Their heart decides. Their mind decides. And therefore, when these animals are in the pen, they're not a talmud. When do they become a carbon talmud? When the kohen shechts it. Up to that point, by Aleph Nisan, they're not talmud. Take them. Do whatever you want with them. However, the problem is, say in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, those extra tamidim, carbon tamid that are not necessary, according to Reb Shimon, and that's the one that we're trying to find a good answer for, you cannot redeem them when they're whole. They have to go to the Kevis Land Park, befall them, and then redeem them. But we're talking about Reb Shimon, ain't nivdim tamimim. Va'oid. So let's just do this balpeh real quickly. Live now in Uman. No, we had a big tzibur there yesterday. It's 20 people. Okay. There's the headline I forgot to change. There might be a better way to do the headline. We have 3 stages here. When a person designates the animal, when a person shechs the animal, and when a person does zrika on the animal. So he asked the question, what happens when you have 2 animals that were shechted at the same time on Shavuos? You bring 2 goats, and you shech them at the same time. He says, what is the point of doing the zrika? In other words, once you do zrika on one, so that comes to forgive anybody that stepped into the Beis Hamikdash b'tumah and didn't go out, or stepped in when he was tamei. What's the point of doing a second zrika? See, the Gemara explains. He asked the question: what happens if does the second zrika work for in between the zrikas. If somebody became tamei between zrika number 1 and 25 minutes later between zrika number 2, does the second zrika help to forgive him for that avera? It would seem like the whole question is on the zrika part. Here, let me just show you how it works. Magdish, shchita, zrika 1. And then he stepped on a mouse. Does zrika 2 help? From this picture right over here, what does it seem like? That there's no question about anything prior to that. If I'm magdish, then there is a forgiveness. The only question is, after zrika 1 and 2, he didn't ask about a step before that, because step before this pasha that it works. That was the whole question. The whole sugya, if we take it a step back, the whole sugya's question was, once I bring in oila, I designate an oila. It's already designated as oila, magdish. I made it oila. And then I sinned. Does my oila forgive me for that sin that happened post magdish? Or no, maybe it's like a chatas. Chatas only works for something that I did before I was magdish. That was the whole question. Perhaps from over here we see that it does work. Otherwise he would ask you, does it work after magdish? Put this guy, let's say, over here. How come he didn't ask him on this? Does this work? Right after Hagdasha, before Shechita? No, that he didn't ask. He asked between the Zrika 1 and Zrika 2. So says Gemara.
Zrika 2 is a separate carbon, right?
Huh?
Separate carbon. Zrika 2 is a separate carbon, correct?
Zrika 2 is carbon 2.
It's carbon 2.
Yeah, Zrika 2 is, we're going to go into it, we'll see. I just have to tell the Olam. I told Davi last night, so I'll tell the Olam. I'm not going to go into details, but I was pretty sick yesterday. I didn't eat a lot. Though when I went on the scale, a nace happened. I gained 8 pounds somehow. I have no idea. Maybe it's just like I drank a lot. I don't know.
Water weight.
And this is an accurate scale.
Yeah, it's totally when you weigh yourself.
I get it. I understand. It was right after Shabbos. But 8 pounds, I was sick. I was mamish, like, I was out of it for hours. I didn't even go to davening in the morning. Anyway, so it's up to Gemara. Void.
Thank you.
I didn't explain much, but there was a kasha. Kasha has to be said. Void. Here's a question. You have these 2 goats of Shavuos. Shavuos has 4 karbanos. First, he brings the two loaves of bread. That we said is like the main carbon, the main thing, accompanied by 2 shlamim, cheesecake, whatever. But he even has some on his lip that I didn't notice. Wow.
The
But
Hasidim
then he
might
also
be
brings the 2 serum. So why do you bring 2 goats? 2 goats is for the Tum and the Beis HaMikdash. What's the second one for? For the Tum and the Beis HaMikdash. Why do you need 2? Maybe he was Tamei in between. So maybe 400? Hashem is compassionate about Klal Yisrael's money. Only 2. So now, if they perform Zrika on the carbon number 1, why in the world do you have to do Zrika for the second one? So he explains, perhaps somebody became Tamei in the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes between the 2 Zrikas, maybe then. But the Gemara says, so let's go back to now that we know the question, it's a little better. The whole question was if the guy is over here in this place, between Zrika 1 and Zrika 2. Can this animal give you a kapara on a isser that you did after the shechita? I say the there was pasha that if the tumah happened over here, certainly the carbon is going to come and give you a kapara, even though it was already named and he already has a sign on him that he's a chatas. Yeah, there was already a hafrasha, there was already hagdasha. He's called a chatas. So that answers our question. From over here, you see that the animal, the carbon that was already designated and put aside as a chatas, does have an ability to forgive afterwards. So the Gemara says, you're right, there's no raya. The reason why he didn't ask the question from this stage, and he only asked it from this stage, is because he was saying, if you say this stage is good, the animal does work, what about this far stage? Way ahead. It's all the way after all the Zrika of the first one, but before the Zrika of the second one. Does it also work at that point? In other words, he wasn't sure about this step right over here. So don't ask me a question that you see from here that it works. He still wasn't sure. Itmar. New sugya, brand new sugya, Rabbi said. This is a little tricky. In other words, just to explain very carefully over here. Let me ask you something. When you have a mind to bring a carbon for your friend, yeah, we said that's called shinui bailam. Just to here, Yoshi did something here to make it easier for us. The shinui kaidash.
Halibin gemacht the guy a gingy.
And shinui bailam, meaning you change from a chatas to a shlamim. You change from Ruvain to Shimon. Those are the 2 things. The Kohen has a bad thought in his mind. Instead of thinking to himself that's a shlamim, he thinks to himself it's a chatas. He's thinking to himself it's a chatas. instead of him doing it for the guy with the red beard, he thinks to himself he's doing it for the guy with the blue turban. Shinui Bailam. What does it mean, Shinui Bailam? So we have to explain it. We have to explain a little bit. Shinui Bailam means I want the guy with the blue turban to achieve the kapara. I want him to have the forgiveness from that animal.
He needs it?
Yeah, he needs it. He's also Machal Shabbos. I know, yeah.
Okay.
The Kohen was in Shul, he saw that he did an Avera, so he decided to be a Chazer. He went to the Beis HaMikdash, the guy gave a carbon, and he thinks, you. I have somebody better to give it to. Baruch Shalom, be Mechaper, my friend in Shul. I saw that he turned on the light 20 times by mistake.
20 times by
Real
mistake.
yeah. So, but over here it's a little different. That's why I'm pointing it out. Rashi says right away, we're not talking about a Toida only. It could be any carbon in the world. It's just an example. What did he do? Over here, he didn't do what we just described, that he wanted his friend to get a carbon, the achievement of the carbon Toida. Over here, he said that this Toida should be his friend's. It's different. It's very similar. Let me show you Rashi. It's, what I'm saying, I understand. It's a little Dakas dick. Let's see Rashi. Maybe Rashi will explain it better. He wasn't thinking that Shimon should get the kapara. Over here, it's similar to changing the type of carbon it is rather than the owner over here. Why? They both, Reuben had a carbon toida, Shimon had a carbon toida, Acheres. But here's the thing here, to explain a little bit. It's similar to saying that this chatos over here, instead of it being for blood, it should be for the chaylev. I'm saying instead of it, this carbon. So basically, instead of the carbon being for Reuben, it should be for Shimon. Not that Shimon should get a kapar from it. I'm changing the designation, the type, the carbon. Instead of Reuben, it should go to Shimon. Rabbi Makshera, Chizam Psula. Machlokes, if it's kosher or not.
The Kohen Daf Hepes Brengen, that if he mixes up.
Thing. What's a toida? Toida is when something terrible happens to somebody comes out of jail, somebody across the desert, came out of a disease, he brings a thank you to Hashem. Today, we get up, we say a 2-second bracha. In those days, he paid $500. How much does a sheep cost? Approximately $500. He brings it to me. It's the whole process. It's not bracha in the local shul. You have to take the sheep, travel from Tzfat all the way to Beis HaMikdash, and bring it. So, there's the person who wrote the Tver Shmuel, he was in the Gzeres Tachtat in Spain, and they got his family. They killed his two. Tachtat, yeah, Tachtat in Poland. They took his two daughters and they killed his two daughters, and they beat him up. And he said, Rebbeinu Shalom, if I get out of here, I'm going to write a sefer. That's his Toida to Hashem, his thank you to Hashem, and Kachava. He survived and he wrote a sefer that's common in Kachim. It's called Birkas HaZevach. Birkas HaZevach. That was his thank you to Hashem. When I read about it, I was thinking to myself, like, you don't have to wait until a terrible thing happens to give thanks to Hashem. That's why Rabbi Pessin keeps on writing Sfarim all the time. He was Toida beforehand, but you don't have to write a sefer. There's other things you can do. Toida Hashem, thank you Hashem for surviving. Yeah. Okay. In fact, they're not thinking now. We went through crazy.
Kohen is never accountable.
But I looked around in Shul, like when they say it's already 2 years. We say a kapitel tilim. We're in the middle of a war. We're still in the middle of a war. Everybody wants to destroy us. Every country, this and that, in war. We have a lot of chayalim on the lines, and you say kapitel tilim. People are schmoozing. People leave the Shul. It's like it becomes like you don't. We're in the situation. We're still in the matzav. Like one day we're gonna look back and say, "Wow, we're in a war." We still have the sirens go off every Monday and Thursday. I mean, it got a little less now since the guys in charge are not around anymore. I don't know the reason. Whatever. They're running out of stock. But it happens. In the middle of nowhere, all of a sudden, woo, and we forget. We don't barely have kapitel tilim. You could say. Anyway. Am I right? You see these guys?
Yeah.
You become used to it. That's a big deal. What a big deal. We're in a war. Right now, we're in a war. Yeah. What? Comes the Hergel.
Like the other side of that, yeah. The Hergel, the bad way.
I have no idea. Oh, so why? Rabbi Makshera, what's the pshat? What's the difference here? The bottom line is, you're right. You messed up a little bit. You put this animal on Shimon instead of on Reuben, but it was shachted for the right one. It was for a Toida. You need to do it for the right person. How do you know I'm right that it's kosher? At the end of the day, we shechted a Toida Shlamov. So that's the halach that we had the other day. This pasuk is not coming to tell you that if you shechted for somebody else, you were yaitza. The pasuk is coming to tell you that if you shech the taida with the wrong intent, you said this taida is a shlamim, it's kosher. Shlamim shenishchatu, the shem taida psulim. If you remember, I gave an example of making a adama on an apple, which you yaitza, but if you make ha'etz on a cucumber, you're not yaitza. In other words, a taida is in the category of shlamim. A shlamim is not in the category of taida. Here, he made a picture I didn't even show it yesterday. This is taida, the kavaduman, I guess. It says on the side, ani taida, thank you. Become shlamim. But I'm not, if you say shlamim, you're not a taida. So, no wonder I love that character. He's a shmaka character. You see that he's a taida. You see, you don't even need to think he's a taida. He's saying thank you. But I'm a taida. Well, my average means this is Chazar Rabbi saying, taida kuri shlamim, ben shlamim kurim taida. Now, shlamim l'shem taida psula. Since a shlamim is not called a taida, so if you say the shlamim is a taida, no good. A taida l'shem taida, sheira. So the Gemara is medayik. It's only because you're saying shlamim is a taida. That's why it's possible. But what if you say a taida is a taida, like our case, which is a little bit of a stretch, because in our case you're putting a taida on somebody else. You're saying my taida, Reuben's taida, should be for Shimon's taida. Kosher. And the Gemara says, my lad chavrei, even for a friend, loy didei. What does that mean, didei? This guy, he broke out of Alcatraz, and he swam across the ocean to get home. So he did two things. He came out of jail, and he also went over the ocean. So now he has to bring two taidas. And in those two taidas, he messed up. Like he had to bring a taida, a chatas for his chaylev, and he brought it for the gdam. But don't mix up a case of his taida for his friend's taida. So someone says, so you tell me that it's possible if you do it for your friend. If you already tell me a case of shlamim that by mistake you messed up. Instead of saying shlamim, you said taida is possible. I have a better case. Listen to taida shem taida. Forget going from one type of carbon to another. Within taida itself, I have a case where it's possible. If I do a taida for Ruvain and I say it's for Shimon, it's possible. Because in shlamim shem taida, and then everybody would know that shlamim would be possible. That if I do shlamim and I say it's taida, then it's possible. If taida to taida is possible, so certainly shlamim to taida is possible. No, not true. Shlamim shem taida didei yitzrichlei. No. It's not true. I would think that if somebody says shlamim instead of taida, it would be good. Why? Because if somebody says the opposite, taida for shlamim, it is good. So shlamim for taida, yeah, taida is in the category of shlamim. So if I say taida, it works, even though it's a shlamim. Even though if I say that this should be a shlamim instead of taida, it works. But I do the opposite, it doesn't work. I need to tell you that chiddush. Here, even I just got mixed up. Huh?
It's his own. You would think.
Yeah, within his own, I would think it's
both ways.
In both cases it works. Because if one case it works, what's the difference? Taida, shlamim, taida, it's all the same? No, it's not the same.
Supposedly that was often, meaning they're putting in hundreds of millions. We'll see.
But don't bring me a raya that mixing up somebody else's taida with your taida is okay. I would think that it would work. That if you say that this shlamim is a taida, you would work. No, Kamashma doesn't work. So we're going to learn now 7 halachas. Rava says 7 halachas. A fascinating thing happened yesterday. These are all the halachas. And this is taken from the end of the sugya. It's a very, very interesting thing. At the end of the sugya it says, Chatos ami mechaper oidol la'achar doiron siman. So the first time I read it, I really thought that the siman is in the beginning of a sugya. That's how it always happens. Usually it gives you like charash, kalash, siman. And that means, it's the Rosh Tevis of these Tanaim that we're about to see, siman. A certain person asked me, what's going on here? It doesn't make any sense. And in Mamish, what doesn't make sense, he asked me, is that siman, chaz ami mechaper, siman, and then the next line is almost identical to these words. It's a sugya in the Gemara. It says, why would I make a siman that's even longer than the actual line in the Gemara? Why do you make a siman like that? But it turns out that the siman is at the end of the sugya. We're about to learn 7 halachas. These are the 7 halachas, and the Gemara made a siman at the end of the sugya because it actually matches another sugya afterwards. So that's why they put the siman at the end. You hear what I'm saying? It's a little interesting, but it's cool. So some of these halachas are mamish chazara for us. We learned these halachas, a bunch of them. And I didn't really say that vart. We'll say it now, because the famous vart of Yikarehi Mipninim that reminded Vidderman said, I said it quickly then, but I didn't say, and this has everything to do with Mendy, because you can ask Mendy. Everybody knows. One carat diamond costs, let's say, $10,000. How much does a 2-carat diamond cost? It's not $20,000. It's how much? How much? $25,000, $30,000. A muscle that everybody can understand is a magnum. You have a 750, whatever, a liter of wine costs 300 shekel. 2 liters in one bottle doesn't cost 600, costs 900 shekel. That's how it goes. So Yikari Mipninim, the Torah is worth more than diamonds, meaning every time you chazer, you don't get double the schar. You get much more, you get 3 times if you chazer. Because it's not one daf. It's not 1 times 2. It's much larger. So the schar is much greater. So do chazara now. Get a lot of schar. It's kedai to do chazara. Compounds differently, very differently. Amarava. But I don't know if it works like that with the lab diamonds. It does not, he says. The larger it is, you get actually a discount on every carat. Can't trust him. You're right. Can't trust him enough. On that we can't trust. He got out way before because he did it l'shma. So I don't know if Doyle knows here that one day Mendy said he wants to be a. Where are we? Oh, Omar Rava. Here we go, one by one. Chatos sheshachta l'shem chatos. If you have two chatos, one is for chaylev, one is for dam. You say that this chatos number one, instead of chaylev, I did an aver for dam. I wanted the kohen messed up. You told the kohen, look, this chatos called Ruvain. I wanted to come to forgive on my chaylev, and then the kohen messed up and said it's for the dam, which is both chayiv chatos. Sheira. Gemara's going to bring a pasuk. But if the kohen messed up and said that this chatos should be an oila, l'shem oila, psulo, what do you do with it? Put it in the garbage. Burn it. My daima says Rava v'shochat yisod l'chatos Amar Rachmana. You have to have intent for chatos. Very chatos. L'shem chatos nishchata. He had the right intent of the chatos. Just for what it is, the chaylev dam he messed up. Okay, but it's for chatos. Kosher. L'shem oila. No. If you go to another category of a carbon psula, next halacha. So that would be this one right over here. Chatos. Chatos l'shem chatos. Now we're doing almi. V'omar Rava chatos shechta almi shemchuyev chatos psula. If you shechted for another owner, what is that called? Shinui bailim. Psula. Just to remind the oilam, that's at the one avodah called zriko. But when you're doing zrika, you had in mind for another owner. Or when you were doing shchita, you had in mind that the zrika is going to be for another owner. But if somebody designated an oila, and I say that this chatas should be for somebody else, my time of chiber olav. Olav chaver. Chaver during the day. If you change it to your friend, so your friend has to be similar to you. It's only when somebody is chayiv a kapara like yourself. We'll see a little bit more later. If you shech the chatas on somebody for somebody else who doesn't have an avera, so to speak, it's possible. Why? Everybody has at least one little avera, like Rabbi Kaplan said in a speech in the Shabbaton. He says that people looking for averas. He says Baruch Hashem, he has one avera he did this year. That the little cut that you do on the challah on Friday night, he messed up that cut once during the year. He was able to mess up. After that, he's going into Rosh Hashanah. In other words, he's joking. Because a guy comes to the Rebbe, he says, Rebbe, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to come to the Rosh Hashanah. I don't have any averas. So the Rebbe said, listen, go outside, bring me one very large stone and 30 small ones, and come back. So he goes out, half hour later, he shows up, struggling, comes in with those stones. He says, put it on the table. Good. He says, now take all these stones and put them right back to where they came from. He says, I know where the big one went. I don't know. He says, a big Avera, you remember. Trust me, you have many, many small Averas. You have no clue where and how. They're there. Says the Gemara.
Now that's a magnet, sadly.
Chatos could come and give a forgiveness on the assays. Like we mentioned yesterday, assay, a mitzvah assay, could be a lava nitikla assay, could be also beishavis exela, certain things that have to do with an assay. It's pasha. Why? If this chatos is so powerful to come and forgive you for something that you did b'shoigig, by mistake. But if you did it b'mezid, you get krisos, kares. So certainly it has the ability to forgive on very smaller averes.
Brooklyn nog een winderstig. You mess up such a thing and then you wonder. Was it those?
What? You telling me that this chatos could forgive things that you're chayiv in asay? In other words, it's in the same category. These averes are in the same category. It's the same min. We just established that if you share the chatos for somebody that's chayiv a chatos, that's one category, so you'll be puzzled. But if you have in mind for the oila shabai, it's kosher. Why? It's a different category. So says the Gemara, mikivah lo mikapra.
You better not, bro.
Mikufi mikapra. So we had this concept before. Mikufi mikapra. This is the main avera that the chatos cannot take care of the main assays. But there's mikufia. There's like the secondary, the little ones, the little guys. So it goes like this. If a person set aside an oila, so then those averas, the chatos doesn't do anything for it. But if the guy didn't set aside an oila for it, so then the chatos is going to take control and be mechapet those little baby averas, whatever they're called, the mekufi averas, the ones that float on the top, the secondary ones. What happens if the chatos takes over and takes those little guys? Then it becomes possible. You know what's going on? Since the chatos cannot do other averas, and you didn't take care of them yourself with the oila, and it grabs onto them, so it becomes possible. If you didn't designate a carbon oila, then it wouldn't become possible. Sponsored by. Oh, I forgot to show all these Rashis. Adar Global, Specialist International Financial Services. Anonymous, Anonymous, and gratitude to Reb Eli and MD for promoting Achas Yisrael and Ahavas Yisrael. Let me just make sure I got everything here. Oh, who? Where? I don't see people. What? On this table, on the Arkham table. Rabbi Schoenberg, Shalom Aleichem. Nice to meet you. Oh, I don't see. Lawrence Spiegelman. That guy. He's an old guy. He's back. Shalom Aleichem. I was just talking about you yesterday. Seriously, yeah. Tell somebody that you're an editor in a certain page. I don't know. You're probably not there anymore, right?
I left RS. I'm the Knesset reporter at Times of Israel.
Wow. But it's huge. I tell people that in our share we have such. I don't think you're on the left or not on the left, but he wrote for Haaretz. You know what Haaretz is? It's crazy. But now he's a Knesset. What are you, a Knesset reporter? Yeah. Unbelievable. Just to show the diversity here, it says in the Gemara Simon. What? I don't know if he appreciates that. Maybe somebody made a joke like that. That's why he left. He's back. Thank you for coming back.
Who would make such a joke? I don't know. Who does it?
Oh, here, he did a very nice job. We're already here, so we can see it inside the Gemara. But I didn't see this last night. Kobe probably put it in. Oila lachar darin siman, and it says Tamin Nami Elcham Reb Shimon Chatas Lami Ba Lami Ba Chaper Lama Ba Lefnei Oila Dairan. Because it has all these words Oila Achar Dairan, but the siman is what we're learning now, and it just fits into the Gemara right after. Okay, just saying. Where are we? We did sponsors. Yeah. I know. I'm just looking over here to make sure I'm not missing anything. What's this? Let me see. Oh, the trader we saw yesterday. Okay, good. Damarava. Yeah, where's LA? Is LA on? Really? Both places did 2 daf? Hancock Park. If you have them on, we'll say hello to them for a second, because I want to be mechazik them. I want people in LA, including Shlomo Lazarian, Lushap, Kashnud, Floyd Mayweather. The Oilers should go and be mechazik the guys in LA. Oilers we have to continue because Mendy's in a rush. Where are you going, Taka? He's going to Umat. Another alaf that we learned: if somebody messes up, the kohen messes up by the oila, and he thinks to himself, the wrong machshava, I'm making this a shlamim, not oila. It's also to continue with that thought with the rest of the process, with the rest of the avodas. You just get back on track, and you do what you need to do. You messed up, and then we said it's Yisrael for life. Last time I said it's interesting that what? You bring the Svara before the pasuk, and over here the Gemara says, oh, here we go. Shalom Aleichem, the guys in Los Angeles. The Masmidim, they did 2 daf Gemara. Ikari Yipninim on that also. What? Got it. Givaldi. You can learn this from a pasuk. We said a whole pasuk that the pasuk starts with a neder, goes off to nadava, and then we said what's pshat because. Oh, this Mendy's gonna love here. This one right over here. I don't know if Mendy saw this yet. What? The other one? The Uma one. That's the Taida guy. That's the Taida. Rav is doing a Taida. Demonstrating Taida in Uma. So he asked, this is a neder. Why does the Torah say nadava? Because if you mess up of the neder, you don't do the neder k'moshe tzarech, it becomes a nadava. How does a nadava work, Mendy? You're gonna like it. Eventually, it's gonna grow on you. I love this. Mishum deshani ba. If you mess up, you should continue messing up. You mess up, so then you take control and you go right there. Like we said in the beginning of the pair. Another halacha. If we had the case of the woman Nebuch, she died right after she brought her chatas, but she didn't live long enough to bring her oilas, or her yarshim bring the oila. Let's go back there. Maybe the oil needs a little refresher. If the kids bring the carbon and the kohen messes up and thinks that this is not an oil, this is a shlamim, it is possible. But if the kohen messes up and says it's not for the woman who gave birth, but it's for this guy that I don't know what he needs oil, they didn't mess up. Why? There's no ownership after she dies. She died. Finished. No, there is a concept called bring a carbon for somebody after death, and that kohen just messed it up. When he says what? The Yoshim have to bring another carbon. But the question is, Davke Kamar, did he mean? Davke Kamar Marish Bal Nachamisa, did he mean seriously that there is considered ownership after death? The Yoshim have to bring another carbon? Or the pshat is that the Yoshim get a kapara with that carbon. But they don't have to bring another carbon. No, the Yoshim have to bring another carbon. Another halacha. What's an oila? A gift. So here's a Rashi that might change the way you perceive oila. How do you think about an oila right now? Oila is, you're in a good mood, you want to bring something nice to the Rebbeinu Shalom, you bring an oila. Reb David, that's how you learned until now? Okay, so we spoke about also, what else? In what I said, but a little different. So Rashi says beautifully, not like what you're saying, Reb David. Not going to do the kapar say, kapar mamish. When a person brings, let's say, chatos, and he's relieved of his aveira, like Baal panim kodim shesarach b'melech. It's like a person who messed up with the king. The king's upset at him. And you get a good lawyer to go in there. Somebody knows how to schmooze up the king well. And then after the king says, okay, fine, I'll let him live. Maybe Dorim B'yadai. Now the guy comes in and brings a gift. I didn't show this yesterday. This is the parklet. I got it. You get it?
This is getting out of hand. Stuff's getting out of hand, people.
He goes, does his thing, talks to the king. Okay.
Ooh.
Then afterwards, he can go in there, six-legged sheep. So
It's gehalten kann wie ein Feigele.
This oil is a daven. It's a gift to Hashem. After you get a kapara on your avera, you bring that also. Just to point out that throughout the year we say that a oil is bekraftim oil Hashem. You bring an oil to Hashem. On Rosh Hashanah we say vasisem oil. How do you know? Because you're chazan. Vasisem oil Hashem. So they say the pshat is similar to the guy that messes up and doesn't bring his wife an anniversary present. He forgets. He walks in. Didn't happen to anybody in this room, but you know what I'm talking about. We heard about this Maisa. So what does the guy do? The shaita. So I says, no. Do you remember? He says, yeah. I brought you myself. Here, I'm here. Oh, do not do that. But on Rosh Hashanah, you do it. You say, oh, Shem, I'm bringing myself. I'm the oila. I myself am the oila. Kabbalah, it's working. It's mamish working. Some Shai Gracher put it on his status. Mamish, it's going well, the book. Baruch Hashem. No, I'm just saying, it's a good thing. I told Oilam, I hope the guy's not in the room. Maybe he is in the room. It'll be Michael. But somebody came over to Rav Nachman in the middle of Kaddish and said something in this minion. And then I saw you on Motzei Shabbos. You on Motzei Shabbos. Some kids were talking during Kaddish, and he went over. Unawareness, just unawareness, not during Kaddish. Yeah, you ask him. I didn't say be Meshugana and run over to the people. Oh, it's your own kids? Yeah. Okay. Good. That's beautiful. I don't understand. Why are you bringing this oila? If you didn't do tshuva, it's mamish. It's a strong language here. You did one aver, you didn't do tshuva. You did a b'shoigig. You didn't bring a carbon. Zevach rishayim ta'eva. Hashem despises the carbon of a rasha. If you did do tshuva, Hatanya over on mitzvah saseh v'shav. If a person was over on a mitzvah saseh and he did tshuva, you don't need to bring another carbon. There's a mechila on the spot. Hello, shmaminat doyenu. You see from here that it's a gift. It's extra. You don't have to, but it's a good idea to bring it. Chatos almi mechaperes. Oila lachar doyren simin. So now you see what I'm saying? Everything we just learned is in these words right over here. Let me just show you again. So here it is. Here's everything put together. Chatos almi. Almi is really for two different things. Mechaper, oila, la'acher. These are the 7 halachas we just learned. And, One more. Sorry, doyren. Oila is a doyren. Simin. Tai name hachi. Omer Reb Shimon chatos lama ba. Lama ba. What do you mean? Why do you bring a chatos? L'chaper. The person doesn't have air. He brings a chatos. Ela. Lama ba lifnei oila. Why does it come before oila? The praklit shenichnas. You have the, how do you say praklit in English? Not a lawyer, representative, I like that, that's great. An advocate, beautiful. The praklit shenichnas, ritzo praklit, if the advocate was he accomplished, then you bring a gift to smooth things over. So we learned in the Mishnah that there are 2 korbanos, that if you mess up, there's nothing you can do about it. Over here, you don't say, let's continue on, let's go. The carbon pesach and a chatos. If the kohen messes up and he says, this is not a carbon pesach, this is a carbon oila, this is not a carbon chatos, this is ashlamim, end the story. Toss it. How do I know this halacha by carbon pesach that you cannot continue? The siv. Shamar is chodesh shavuot vasisa pesach. Psukim, easy stuff now. It says in the pasuk, vasisa pesach, you shall do a pesach. You call as the yoyis l'shem pesach. Every step of the way must be for a pesach. And if you have in mind 1 second that it's a oila, it's gone. Ashkechon shinu kodesh. So that's okay because vasisa pesach, that's the asiyah, that's the different avodah, the different thing. So don't mess up in the avodah and call it something else. Ashkechon shinu kodesh. Shinu b'alam another. Where do we see over here this idea of messing up? Also, the ownership messes it up completely. Once again, we have another pasuk in the same thing that you cannot mess up in a carbon pesach. Now we have this concept you see on the screen. If I can't use this pasuk for the same thing again, I already have it. What do I need another pasuk? Let me use it for something very, very similar, different but similar. If I don't need it anymore to teach me that I cannot mess up the type of carbon, so I'll use it. I cannot mess up the owner, which is interesting that this is not the first time, probably the third time since the beginning of the that we're using this concept of to go from.
Als Kohen hat in Sinn etwas anders, darf der Mensch bringen noch einmal den Carbon?
Shinoi kodesh to shinoi bailam.
Oder der Kohen darf es bezahlen?
Okay, there's a few steps here. Like we said in our Mishnah, regular carbon, it's not the best. You're not getting the top mitzvah, but you continue going. You won't have a kapara. You have to bring another one. But this carbon is a good carbon. So actually, mitzvah. That's all I know so far. Lakim and How do I know it's possible? Throw it in the garbage or burn it, whatever you want to call it. The second pasuk is another pasuk. Tells me that it's garbage. Since I need this pasuk for something else, as we're going to see in a second, so I don't have it available to tell me that you have to burn it and get rid of it. What does Rav Nachman say? Oh, this is a famous halacha. You put your carbon pesach on the side. Everybody's so excited we're going to go to the Beis Hamikdash. What does this little guy do? Runs away. I said the story last night because it came to my mind. I'll tell it to you also. I was in Utah. I wanted to show my boys. I did a little trip by myself. I wanted to see the houses that are next to my daughter and son-in-law, and also to see the views. I went up this, just 2 minutes away from their home. I just went up the mountain. Crazy views, beautiful homes. We get there. I show my kids like 40 minutes before Shkia, and we see a dog like walking around, like very lost. So we got out of the car and we saw he's thirsty. My son's like, the guy from LA, he has a dog. He's like, wow, we've got to find the owner. So he starts looking at the tag and we start making phone calls. Kids, there's a beautiful mansion there on the overlooking. And when I saw it before, I was like, wow, I wonder what it looks like inside. So now I had a great excuse. I knock on the door. I found the dog. The guy opens up. And the dog, is this your dog? Maybe this. So he started helping me. It turns out that he's Jewish. And I told him all about my son-in-law's program. And this and that. It was good. And now, not only does the daf, he gives the daf. No.
You friends.
The point is, sometimes animals run away. And they get lost. So this guy, he needs a Korban Pesach. So what does he do? He buys a second Korban Pesach. What always happens when you buy Korban Pesach, second one? 3 minutes after you shachted, Shalom Aleichem, here he is. Somebody looked at the chip and they found, oh, this is yours. Now what do? Shekarev Shlamim. Korban Pesach literally, it's in the category of Shlamim. And therefore, you can bring it as a Shlamim. I already used the entire pasuk to tell me this halacha that I could take a Korban Pesach and do it as a Shlamim. And then it says in the pasuk, how do I learn it from here? I don't understand something. A Korban Pesach comes from goats and from sheep. Why does it say bakar, cattle? There's a Rashi, it's kedai to remember this, just to engrave it in our memory, because it's very Yisaitistic. He says, why? A shlamim could be a male, female, a goat, and a cow, and a sheep. It could be anything. And then he goes just to describe. Other things like every carbon is either this or that. He says, so to remember, they're always male. Asham also, not only a noila. Chatas is always, and he says we should give the chatas from now on like a skirt. Chatas who will be a kevais. There's one type of chatas that we learned in the beginning of the The king brings a zachar. But to remember again, oila is always a male, a chatas is always female. Shlamim is everything, both. And a male fits right into the pasuk. Zevach bakar that the Korban Pesach should be a shlam. You're right. This pasuk is about the Pesach. Tells me that if you have extra Korban Pesach after Pesach, make it as a shlamim. So where am I learning from? And what does it say at the end of the pasuk? So Pesach tells me that if you mess up in a Korban Pesach, you say that this is not a Korban Pesach, this is an Oila, then it's a mess up, but we only have a mitzvah now. But we don't know that you have to toss it out yet. And I have another pasuk to teach me that if you mess up in order, it should be also messed up in the Korban Pesach. Ooh, here's the pasuk just to see. We have the two psukim here. Shabbos Chodesh Aviv is for Shina Kodesh. Shina Bailam. And the extra word who is la'akev bein hacha v'hacha. You toss them out. You can't use it anymore. It's a zevach in this pasuk. It's a zevach for the shchita. Shabbos, how do I know? Kabbalah lachas rika. Once I see this halacha by Shina Kodesh that includes all 4 avodas, so also by Shina Bailam includes all 4 avodas. I don't like that. He says, how do I know all the avodas? You guys remember the Kokeli song? Here. But what's missing here is, and that's really in the beginning of the sugya I should have told you, Korban Pesach is not on this list over here. It's not in that pasuk. So, so this is important. Rashi brings this down. Look at this. This pasuk of Kakeli, so to speak, has all the korbanos. The pasuk afterwards, Lamed Ches, says Lagav is korbanim. From there, I can learn out also what's missing in the top pasuk. Pesach, Bechar, and that's called Smuchim. Since they're so close to each other, Shalom Aleichem, I forgot to ask, what's your name? From? Shalom Aleichem, that's your son? Shalom Aleichem. Who else? There's a guess. The guy from, okay, fine. Look at them, sitting at 2 ends of the thing, but all worlds we have. From the ganze Welt, we have a guy from Eretz that used to write from Haaretz, and the guys from Kuperstein from Barabar. Givaldik, Dachtos. So the Gemara. And then there's name oh, so that second pasuk is that adds the ones that are missing. And the Torah says that these two psukim are connected. Like we already established, that you have to have the right intent for owner and for type of carbon. The mitzvah. You should definitely have that intent, and if not, you have to bring another carbon, but you continue going with this. There's no difference at what point of the avodah you did it. All 4 avodas. Fine. Now, Elahu Lamali. But if you're already Rav Safra who's learning from the who, then you need the Shema. But over here we have a whole hekesh. You have these psukim. So why do you need the word who? Never Pesach who b'shchita lakiv. It says the word who by Zevach. Zevach Pesach who, and that to tell us that you have to toss out this Korban Pesach. Aval Asham, it's a teacher the who. By Asham, it's not like that. Never by who. Where does it say the word who? Asham who? I forgot to bring the pasuk again. It says the word who. I showed it to you the other day. Murim. The who comes at the end when it's already not important. It's important, but not. It doesn't ruin it. Well, that's where the who to be more kosher. By Asham, if you don't bring the pieces of animal onto the mizbech, it's still kosher. So Mamela the Lishma doesn't ruin it. Not like a Korban Pesach where it ruins it. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
All right. Oh, nice. Okay. Sind wir done mit Daf 7. And I want to say thank you for Shimon Lebovich for den Sponsoren, der handige, wie heißt das? Der handige Daf. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Shimmy. Und ich wollte endigen mit dem. Ich habe gesehen, als HBS ist rausgekommen. Hold on. Lass mich sie herbringen. Ich habe gesehen, als HBS hat rausgegeben ein Ding, was heißt Schäferle. Es ist nicht kein Music-Video. So, man geht nur judging the music. 18 hours ago, 790 views. Lass mich subscriben. Du bist sicher? Yankee T. Travesty, der Food ist umgekommen. Okay. HBS is the, man weiß nicht, wer sie ist. Like it is under the reps. Yitzi Linder presents Schäferle. Let's get into it. Been an old lady.
Weinisch, weinisch, Schäferl in der Sommer. Weinisch, weinisch, Schäferl in der Sommer. Weinisch, weinisch, ich wein mit dir, Schäferlala. Weinisch, weinisch.
Kijk deze schon wie an irgendwas man wart some super gitten Nigen. The next hit in a sense. Das ist mehr herausgegeben Art. Kehrt nicht für der Sach, für der Zahn on top. That's how I feel like. Sally, thank you so much for the super chat. Sally.
Ich wein mit dir, Schäferlala. Weinisch, weinisch, Schäferl in der Sommer. Weinisch, weinisch, Schäferl in der Sommer. Weinisch, weinisch, ich wein mit dir, Schäferlala. Weinisch, weinisch, ich wein mit dir, Schäferlala.
Wenn ist, wenn ein Mainstream-Singer band, was ich kennt herausgeben, denjenigen. Hallo, wie sagt, Schäferle Weinisch, now hat die Lämmerle Sound. Sie kennen sagen, dass es Jossi Green. Meaning, is the Schraber, der Macher. Oh, YG, von unser, wie heißt das? Sally. Okay, Sally hat auch gekommen. YG und Sally, nice. Sky DJ. Gave my like them Sky DJ. SG. Okay. Nice.
Schäferl in der Sommer, weinisch, weinisch, Schäferl in der Sommer. Weinisch, weinisch, ich wein mit dir, Schäferlala.
Ich fühle so wie das ist die Musik, was man spielt in den Bars, was eine Pizzi Bar, a live band, was man tippt sich rauf auf the stage. The drummer is also minimal. This. Wow. Ich hoffe, das inspiriert andere Menschen. Okay. Definitely interessant. Hershey Green. Hello and welcome. It's definitely interessant. Geef mal like. Red nicht von like, die bist du. Gebe hier den Like-Button. Es geht ein langer, riesiger Weg. Come on. So, es ist nicht obviously der nächste Wow-Song, aber ich meine, das pusht the boundaries für andere Menschen herauszukommen. In Treien, es sind nicht alles ein Banger. Und sie können sagen, just art. Just get the house. So wie ein Painter, was mond, it just gets a house. Wenn 1 von 10 kommt raus als Scheine, you know, by mistake. Alright. Geber es, ich komme in der Zeit, mit auf sich segnen. Mit auf sagen goodbye. It's kind of easy. No matter how many times I try, but we gotta do it. Ich gebe mal Schkoich für jeden, was du gewähnt, eine lange Zeit, eine kurze Zeit. Für die, was du gewähnt, auf eine andere Tab. Und vielleicht macht mir YouTube eine Tab, aber ich meine dir. Thank you. Wir geben mal Schkoich für alle Likers, Sharers, Commenters, Subscribers and Members. You know, keeps the channel going. And a special thanks for hold on, for ich batcher up dem Nummern. Shimi Lebovich, for the sponsor in der handige Duff. And sadly, for Naranschicken super chat. It really keeps the channel going, you know? This is what greases the wheels. Know what I'm saying? Housekeeping. Kunden gefragt. If you're okay, 83% have gesagt yes, 17% have gesagt no. Keiner hat nicht gesagt no, but it's okay. Interesting. But we'll take it. Ich gucke für jeden, was gewotet. Aber die willst du beschicken von der Unboxing. Nicht für die Woche, aber für die andere Woche. So far. Wie lange die Mailbox ist offen? Mal fuhren. 76 Hillside Avenue, Suite 143, Chester, New York. Die willst du beschicken. Morgen in the free 8:45 got my guy live, so we'll see you all. Can I have a break by 10 as I get for 25 minutes, but I'll blab of the live. We'll see. Most probably I'll blab of the live. I'll take him nog daheim. Alles good. Hello and welcome. How you doing? Morgen in the free. 8:45. Ben ik alle zijn dat. Alrighty. It has been a pleasure. Thank you all for being here. And until next time, stay kind to one another. Peace.